video. You guys have been asking for videos like this, and so I'm bringing you along. Today I'm preparing for future camping trips. Every year our camping starts in the fall, and that's because we're hunters. We have an elk hunt coming up next, and then bird hunting season is upon us. I'm hoping to get some fishing in while we're on the elk trip because I won't be hunting. I'll be with the dogs, and that'll ease up what the house sitter has to do. Anyway, so part of preparing for this is looking at the freezer, and it is full to the brim. So I kind of go through, inventory out, what do I need to use right away, what am I taking on the trip, and what do I need to put in jars. And so I pulled out some venison, an elk heart, or part of it, about half of an elk heart, that went in a jar for the dogs. I pulled out a 5-pound bag of chicken wings, and yes, chicken wings, when you can them up, and everything is pre-cooked, or par-cooked I should say, not cooked thoroughly, but cooked so I can add broth or stock to it, and I customize my broth for the elk and venison that I've canned up. I also had a leg of lamb that I didn't want to waste, so there's 2 jars of lamb, and then the chicken broth that goes over the wings is an herb broth with herbs de Provence. It's delicious. You open a jar of that, just pick your meat through and do chicken and rice, or you can do a soup, a really quick soup, and it's not too much because this large canner has 8 1.5 pint jars in it, and this has 4 quarts. I only got 1 quart extra of the chicken in that canner, so I filled the canner. I did 3 quarts of chili beans, and that again is preparing because when we go camping, we always have a pot of chili somewhere along the way, so you need chili beans. I did some the other day, and now this is restocking what we've already used. And then I'm going to show you how I gather and organize my camp boxes. And so I hope that this inspires you to stay along with me. Go down in the links below and check out the links that I've left for you, because I'll have a link to a canner. Now, if it's not the right size, you just search for the size. Okay guys, so I've got some stuff out on the table, and this has to do with the food. I've also got bins, totes that we carry that packed strategically in the truck. And on another video, I'll kind of show you how we pack the truck up. Today I did the truck maintenance, so I got the oil changed, had to replace the front windshield. It was dollar signs everywhere, you guys. And then I had to fill up the propane. We take 2 5-gallon and 1 20-gallon or 25-gallon, I'm not sure, maybe it's 30. Anyways, it's a pretty big one. One is for our heater inside the tent, and then we've got our cooking and outside heater for the cook shack as well, because the temperatures where we're going could be very, very chilly. So, okay, so in my day planner, I have my menu planned out from the day that we leave on through, and I've added 1 extra meal just in case. Sometimes you'll end up with extra people in camp. Now, Brian and Jeanette will be bringing their own stuff, but what if another hunter comes in, or we need an extra meal, or we stay an extra day for whatever reason? I put an extra meal or 2 in there, so I always have options. But we are going to have, and it doesn't have to be in this order, but we're going to have jambalaya. We're going to, and these are dinners, okay? Breakfast and lunches are all accounted for. It's usually sandwiches or leftovers for lunch. I'll be eating the leftovers because I'll be in camp. And then in the morning, when the guys are leaving really early, they'll have oatmeal, and I'll go over that. So basically, this is the dinner menu that I have to worry about. So jambalaya, zuppa, which is an Italian kind of a soup with potatoes and kale and sausage, steak and potatoes, and now most likely this will be elk steak because that's what we have in the freezer. I've got a pork tenderloin dinner with sweet potatoes, and we'll probably be having fresh veggies. I've also got some canned. So burgers, chicken thighs, chili and cornbread, chicken and dumplings, potato cheese soup, a stir fry. I've got stroganoff, and that'll be an elk stroganoff, and tacos. and then biscuits and gravy. Now, the biscuits and gravy can be a dinner, and we can have pancakes or bacon with it, or sausage patties. And having dinner or breakfast for dinner sometimes is pretty wonderful. So that's my basis. Now, can I change that because of what I've got in here? Absolutely. And we're gonna bring coolers. One cooler will be a freezer, and one will be, and we'll pack it with dry ice. It'll keep our stuff that we need to keep frozen for about a week. And then we'll start using that stuff as it thaws out in the order of what would go bad first. So here's my jar boxes, and you guys have seen these, and some people said these were so expensive, but they are so worth their weight in gold. They're heavy duty plastic. We can go down a dirt road and my jars are gonna stay fine in here. They're not gonna hit each other because of the separation. So in here we have, we've got to take stuff. Now I'm putting bands back on. I already started, but so this is my canned ham. Now I did that video a while back and it's fabulous. So we'll have that either with a breakfast. It can go in our potato cheese soup, or if we wanted mac and cheese one day for lunch or as a side dish, it can go in there. Also doubles as a breakfast food. I've got elk in wine and mushroom sauce. So this has got wild mushrooms in here. It's elk. This will go for our stroganoff because we've already got the wine in here. Of course, I'll probably bring a bottle of wine just for that purpose. So there's our stroganoff, and I'm going to check this off. Make sure I'm doing my inventory. Check. Let's see, we've got, barbecue sauce, because we're going to be barbecuing that pork tenderloin, and that's going to be frozen. So check that. We've got that. Chicken and dumplings. Now I've got a 1.5 jar of herb chicken. I also have a quart jar of chicken legs, and this makes the best soup. So we can have chicken and dumplings. It's very gelatinous and it's delicious. So we've already got our broth and we've got our soup, but I will be bringing extra chicken stock. So sides, we've got green beans and mushrooms for sure. We've also got salsa in here, crushed tomatoes for our chili. And then for taco night, okay, so chili, we've got that. I'm gonna bring ground elk for the chili meat, and it'll be super easy. The tacos are gonna be from my home canned ground beef, and this was grass-fed ground beef that I canned last December. Most of this stuff was within a year or two. Yeah, I haven't got anything. I mean, we go through our canned stuff. You guys, I know a lot of you think that there's no possible way, but this is how I shop. It's in my pantry, pretty much. So we've also got some extra chicken, just in case I want to make a chicken salad. I make an Asian inspired chicken salad to roll up in tortillas with cheese and cashews, and super easy. It's just honey mustard. You dice up some celery and purple onion. I will have both of that with me, and it makes a delicious chicken salad. I've got black beans for my taco meat. I put the black beans right in the taco meat, and I've got black beans for my chili. My chili is going to, where's my chili beans? Oh my gosh, they're there. My chili beans are right here, and they're fantastic. And these are kidney beans. It already has the chili seasoning in there, so I really don't have to worry about that. So we're gonna check that one out. And my timer just went off for my 10-minute vent time, so let me go put the weights on. So we're gonna check off our chili and cornbread. I've got my cornmeal and flour over here, and I bagged this up, and it's all bagged up and ready to go. So that's checked. We're gonna be bringing sausage. My flour is going to be for my my biscuits. I will make homemade biscuits while we're out there. And tacos, check. Let's see, chicken and dumplings, check. Potato cheese soup. So we will be bringing, we've got the ham we can put in there. We're also going to be bringing a bag of potatoes, so that will be check. Zuppa, same thing, sausage, kale. I'll bring kale from the garden, which is nice. And the nice thing is, now the night after we have jambalaya, we'll have a jambalaya omelet. I posted that picture on Facebook the morning we had that. Oh goodness, it was so good. I've already purchased my andouille sausage. I've got shrimp that we'll be taking that will be frozen. That will probably be one of the first meals that we have, just because when the freezer starts thawing, because the shrimp will thaw the fastest. And so really and truly, all the rest of them, I'm pretty sure we're good to go. I'm also going to bring 4 pancakes, my plum syrup. I'm going to bring some habanero rhubarb jelly. I've also got my tomato jam. Side dishes, this is a succotash that I canned a while back, and it's so good as a side. I've got 2 jars of that. I've got 2 jars of home canned spinach. And if you don't like canned spinach, you probably wouldn't like this, but I absolutely love it. And so if you ever want to see a video on how to do your greens, and that means any greens are done the same way, this is delicious. And I can use this if I didn't have room for my kale, or I didn't have enough. I could use spinach in place of kale in that zuppa. I've also got home canned cream of chicken and mushroom soup. We've got, I always bring organic mac and cheese for side dishes. It's just nice to have, like when we have the pork tenderloin, to have a side. I bring like pepperoni, that kind of thing, because we might want it on a sandwich. Got mushrooms for added mushrooms. Okay, so now we've got all the things that you might need. I have to have options. If you guys know me at all, I'm probably not going to stick completely to that menu, and if I don't feel like having that day, I want options. So in here I've got some instant potatoes, maybe to thicken my soup or just to make as a side. I've got some ranch dressing, some onion soup mix. I've also got, I think there's gravy mix for our biscuits and gravy. I've got some pasta, and this is orzo pasta. I'll more than likely put that in with our chicken and dumplings, just a little bit of it, and it just like the next day when you heat it up, you've got some pasta in there. I've got my creamer for my coffee. My husband has his creamer. Fresh garlic from the garden. Now spices, you can start, I mean, it's going to take up a lot of room if you don't organize correctly. So what I did, and I have a cake mix because I've got a jar of rhubarb pie filling that we're going to do a dump cake with. So all my spices that I would need are in this container, and I'll go over that. And I'm probably going to separate these videos a little bit. I've got chicken bouillon, and these are little Ziploc baggies. So chicken bouillon, I have sweet mesquite seasoning, I've got cumin, red pepper flakes, chili powder. Even though my chili already has the seasoning in there, I might add a packet of chili seasoning. I've got garlic, granulated garlic, herbs de Provence, Italian seasoning, more chili powder, and onion powder. All in this container at my fingertips, and I don't have a ton of stuff. Hopefully I can get it all in here and get the lid back on. In one compact little container instead of a bazillion of these. And salt and pepper, I've also got, this has garlic, salt, cayenne, curry, paprika, that kind of thing in this. So I go ahead and bring that, and we'll put this lid back on. But fat-free mayonnaise for sandwiches. I am going to bring, I may have to put that on later, some liquid smoke, some garlic sriracha. Just in case somebody ends up with a cold, I bring Dayquil, because I've been out there with no cold medicine and been miserable. So it's no fun. Here's my bag of flour. Now that's for biscuits, that's for dumplings, that's for anything that I might need to thicken. And I've got my cornbread. So I've got my cornmeal, my cornbread. If I catch fish, gonna need some cornmeal to fry that fish in, and we will bring cooking oil. So now, and this is all gonna go in, this here has gotta go in the cook food box, the dry food box. I buy these organic cereals. This is 8 pouches of apple cinnamon and 8 optimum blueberry, 8 flax plus, and 8 maple nut. So 32 packets, and Michael eats 2 of them at a meal. So I'm gonna bring them all. We're not gonna be gone that long, but I'm gonna bring all of them. Some dried blueberries for that, and some crumbled walnuts. That's it for breakfasts. And so that's pretty simple. I mean, I still have a few things, like I need my coffee over here, and I'm gonna get it packed in the dry box. But I'm gonna show you my cooking utensil box and how that works. It's pretty easy. You need a box for your cooking stuff, and we're gonna bring our Camp Chef, and that runs off of propane. We will have a cook tent. But you have to have the right things to cook with and to do dishes and all that stuff. So you need a tote for just that. I also have a tote for the dry food. Then I have a tote for lanterns and propane canisters and lighters and that kind of thing. Toilet paper. Paper towels go in the kitchen camp box, but let's turn the camera and I'll show you what's in those. Okay, so in this tote, this is kitchen. So I bring a couple of these. Sometimes I need these to maybe have vegetables sit in water. Let's say I'm cutting up potatoes, or I'm cutting up a bunch of vegetables to go in the soup. This can be a holding container, and I can wash them. So I always have a couple of these. Or if we do harvest an animal, sometimes I need these for if I'm cutting up or trimming or anything like that. I've got these. Or I'm preparing the pork tenderloins. We will be bringing bacon. So I've got Ziploc bags, and I bring freezer bags. I've got 25-gallon freezer bags. I've got this little container is my silverware for us, and I will bring a couple of my favorite knives to put in here, so it's not complete. I've got, these are storage bags. You'll go through way too many Ziplocs if you're not careful, so storage bags, these are the bread bags. I love them. I've got quart bags in here as well. I've got my pots, my coffee pot. This pan here is big enough to fill up and do dishes. Also, if we're impatient about the shower water heating up, you can fill this up, heat it up on that Camp Chef in like 2 minutes, and put it in the bucket. It's pretty easy. I've got dish soap, my dough hook or my dough cutter, dish soap, a sponge, some washcloths. I need dish towels, and I've got my soup pot, my side dish pan. I've got another pan in here, and I also have 2 skillets, one large fry skillet and 1 egg pan. And then this is my butane burner. Now this one, we will put this in the tent, and I've got butane canisters in here. This one goes in the tent so we can make coffee in the morning without having to get out in the cold. So that's very convenient. And you just have to pack things in. I've got 2 nice cutting boards like this, very easy to sanitize. I've got a cheese grater, my big utensils to stir pots with, 2 rolls of paper towels, and my coffee maker. Put that lid on there. This goes back in. I'm trying to think what else is in here. I think that's it for this pan, or this particular. Uh-oh, now I don't have the, it's not going to go back right. Yeah, it'll fit. just like that, and it'll get packed over and over. So kitchen towels still need to go in here. And then we're gonna pack the dry box for the food over there. I'm gonna turn you over here and show you, we've got lanterns and propane canisters, and we're just about ready to get packed. And then we've got a tote of clothes that I wanna go through that are hunting clothes for myself to wear in camp, because it is gonna be cold and I don't wanna really take my nice stuff camping. So anyways, I'll show you what we got over here, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Okay, so in this tote, and we'll have to repack this, we have propane canisters, and this heater runs off of these. So we need plenty. We also need plenty of D batteries, because the pump runs on the D batteries. So it pumps the water through the bucket and circulates. It's very nice. So I've got 12 propane canisters. We have a container full of bungee cords. You can't have too many of those, apparently. I got one of the new dog coats. I have 2 more coming in the mail, and these are the rough coats. These are the best dog coats ever. Sage has had hers since Libby died, and Libby had hers since she was a puppy. That coat is 14 years old, so it's been through 2 dogs and it's still just fine. Probably could use a shampoo, but so anyways, Ragnar and Shotzi got new coats. Strut still has his old coat, so this is one of them. Worth every penny. Here's a lantern and here's a lantern, and they all take different, well, they both take different mantles. So we've done our inventory and checked the mantles. This is a it's a battery operated one. It's nice to have this in the shower tent, so you don't have to worry about trying to catch the place on fire. We've got more laundry soap, and this is scent free for Michael's laundry. And I'll bring a couple of pouches of laundry soap for my laundry if we go to town to do laundry. Toilet paper, gotta have it, right? So really and truly, all I've got to do is pack my clothes now and get ready to go. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Hopefully this helps somebody. Do a checklist, and when we go to pack up the truck, I'll kind of show you how we pack that up, because it's a puzzle. Let me tell you. And then before I end the video, after the canners are all done, because they're going to go for 90 minutes, I'll bring you over and show you what I did, because I got a lot cleared out of the freezer today and in preparation, and then hopefully we bring home an elk and we have more elk meat, because it's delicious. It's the best red meat ever. All right, I'll meet you at the camera. Okay guys, so we are ready, and I'm gonna wrap this video up. I have my canners that are down off of pressure, and I'm gonna put an interesting point here. This canner is so much bigger than this little guy. They take the exact same amount of water, so 3 inches of water in each canner, and especially for a long cook like a 90-minute, which is what these had to go. I found it really interesting that this one came up to pressure and to vent 1 minute earlier than this one. And then they both came down off of pressure the same amount of time. I took the weights off less than 30 seconds apart. So I found that really interesting. Now I've had the lids ajar now for about 5 minutes. And I like to do that. It helps acclimate your jars and bring them down slowly. You have less of a siphoning effect. And I'm not going to turn this into a canning video, but it's a canning video. No. Okay, so now we've got our jars. I'm super excited. It smells delicious. And in this canner, we have, ooh, yum, chili beans. Chili beans. Okay, so chili beans usually have a little bit of residue on them, and I don't want to stain my mat. So I am going to see if I have another towel that I can put out here for these, that I don't mind them getting a little stained. We'll see if that works. Okay. Chili beans. So a quart of chili beans. And I did 4 quarts of these the other day with the same exact recipe. We had, well, and we're having it again tonight. I made chili with it. Unbelievable how good that chili and how easy it is when you've already got the spices right in your beans, and the beans are perfectly tender. So chili beans, okay. And it's a nice way to fill up the canner with beans because it takes the same amount of time as meat. So if you can find something that takes the same amount of time, you're better off. And 1 more jar of chili beans, so that's 3 beans. These are gonna rest on my canner until in the morning. Then I will take the rings off, scrub the jars very good with hot soapy water, especially around the threads of the jar, because any food residue can corrode and eat away at your seal. So you wanna make sure your seal is correct. Then I will label them. Now this is the smallest jar of chicken wings. That was what was left, and I pre-cooked these, or I par-cooked them, and then I put in some really nice broth and with some herbs in there. So delicious. Okay, now I don't have to worry about staining. And this is elk. This is a stew meat for elk. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, chicken wings. They're floaters. I will tell you, chicken wings are interesting, but I'll tell you what, it makes the best soup. In the wintertime, when you don't feel good, it's not a lot of meat in there, but it makes a wonderful broth inside the jar. And then the little bit of meat is all you need with some pasta or some veggies, and you feel better in a matter of minutes. Okay, so let me get the rest of these out. Chicken wings. And that was a 5-pound bag of wings that I cleared out of my freezer, which is fantastic. Now this one's, I really packed a little bit more, so not so much on the floating thing. And this one, now remember, don't tip your jars, but on the lid, I put an H on here. This is the half of that elk heart, and this will be for the dogs. We're not a huge fan of the elk heart, but I never waste anything that we harvest, so it gets used. And some more elk meat for stew, oh, it's great to open a jar and make stroganoff like what we're gonna do when we go camping. Another jar of stew meat, elk. And oh no, you know what? I used 2 Orchard Road lids, and those have a cubed up leg of lamb, and all of this meat was in my freezer, taking up space, and now it's gonna go on the shelf. And I have freed space for the elk that's coming home, hopefully, and other things that might need to go in there. So I've got 2 1.5 pint jars of delicious leg of lamb. And that'll be great for an easy stew, or I see a shepherd's pie in my future on that one. So that's a lot of food right there. That's enough for a couple weeks worth of meals. And so guys, I hope it inspires you to get organized if you're going camping. I hope that I gave you a tip or 2 that might help you along the way. After I shut the video off, I got our coffee, I got my chicken stock, my rice for my jambalaya, I got my towels for my dish rags and towels. I think I'm pretty well set. Oop. Got jars popping. And so I appreciate you indulging me, and I hope that this helped the people that were asking about this. And as always, guys, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe, canning video, and or maybe some camping stuff. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.